Hello friends, welcome back to our English test preparation channel. And today our video is about Pearson test of English. To those who haven't known it yet, that we are about to launch our new platform called PTE practice platform to support those who want to achieve their Pearson test of English desired scores. Of course, everything is built with the same team from the DET practice platform that we have been supporting over 20,000 students over the last year. So, the next PTE practice platform is also built with new technology from Microsoft and OpenAI in addition to other self-study features. We build the platform to support those who are aiming for self-study, that they can study along with the technology, with the platform features and all the quality articles. That is everything they need. No need to go for the preparation course or something similar like that, which is so expensive. That is just a short introduction I want to share with you, and I will be sharing more in details later once we launch the PTE practice platform. But today, right in this video, we will take our 2 mock tests for free. And there are something about this free test you need to know in advance in order to have the most effective result at the end of the test. First and foremost, that our practice test to our mock test, this one is exactly the same as the real test. We build it similar to the real test to simulate real experience that you are about to experience when you sit for the PTE. Yes, for sure, our test is a bit longer because we show you answers at the end of each question, so you can learn from your mistakes if you make any, and especially for writing and speaking questions, because we do have sample answer for you guys to check, to learn new ideas, collocations, expressions, idioms, and so on, to improve your skills. And of course, the order of questions in the test is the same as the certified one. First, we will experience and face with all the question types in part 1, writing, speaking, and next we move on to part 2, reading, and the last, of course, is part 3, listening. So immerse yourself in our test and get the best result at the end of it. You know if you do it correctly or not because we show you answer right in the end of each question. Here's the list of question types in order that you will face in this practice test. You see, everything is the same, very similar to the certified test. For example, the question type repeat sentence in part 1, writing and speaking. In the real test, it appears from 10 to 12 times, but in our practice test right here, we set a fixed number, 10. That is what you can expect and you can see. So after this question type, it automatically move on to the next one, of course, because this is a video. Secondly, please prepare a notebook and a marker. For your information, whether you take... Firstly, you need to know that the PTE Academic has 2 versions. The first one is at the test center. The second one is at home, or someone called PTE Online. So regarding the PTE Academic Test Center, that students are given, provided by the organizers at the test center, a booklet or tons of laminated square paper and a marker for you to write notes on. However, on contrary, if you take the PTE online, that you have an online note-taking features, so you can write on that feature on every screen. And because we are doing a test on a video on YouTube, so there is no way that you can write on that online note-taking features. Therefore, I require you and recommend that you prepare a notebook and a marker or a pen, pencil, whatever that you can use to write, to take notes on everything that you need while doing the test. And of course, you also need a notebook and a marker to write the answer, so you can compare 2 hours in the end of each question. Because I told you already that we share detailed feedback and answer for each question type at the end of it. The PTE practice platform that I told you earlier is a live interactive website, so you can practice on your computer like exactly when you take the real test. And you can take note right on the computer on our platform because we also have the online note taking feature for you to do so, and with detailed feedback at the end of each question. Especially writing and speaking questions, as you can see here, we evaluate your answers based on the same grading elements as Pearson assesses your skills. For example, if we practice part 1 write essay, after submitting your answers, the platform immediately gives feedback based on content, form, grammar, coherence, vocabulary, and linguistic range. And yes, Pearson uses these grading elements to evaluate your skills as well. So make sure that you check our detailed feedback carefully if you practice on the platform. Alright, let's get back to our mock test right here. The last thing that you need to bear in mind is that your mindset. Please prepare your mindset as well. I know that lots of you want to take this test, just like relax, because it's just 2 hour mock test, nothing to worry about. You just feel free to search any words that you do not know on Oxford Dictionary or Cambridge. It's okay. But to us, we strongly recommend test takers to take it, to treat this test as the real one. You know what? Because that is how we prepare ourselves mentally to face all the questions that we are about to do it in the future on your test day. So make sure that we prepare ourselves properly. All the questions we practice every day and our mindset as well, so we have a better chance to achieve our desired scores. And it is not that hard to do it. Simply focus on the test only. Use your notebook and marker to take notes, but do not search anything on Google, searching engines, or on dictionaries. Do not do that, because you can do that later. You can do that after completing the test. Everything that you already took note on your notebook, and you can use it later to search for new information, ideas, and even some words that you do not understand right at that time. And besides, we also show you answer at the end of each question. So that is the key for you to focus completely on a test, alright? Those were 3 points that I wanted to share with you in advance before we move on to take our 2 hour mock test. And if everything is clear, get yourself ready. Let's get into business.
During the challenge, Davis was looking for demographic stereotypes, so she asked the chatbot questions to try to yield racist or inaccurate answers. She started by asking it to define blackface, and to describe whether it was good or bad. The chatbot was easily able to appropriately answer those questions.
Technology has transformed education, offering innovative tools and platforms for learning. While it enhances access to information and personalized instruction, it also presents challenges like screen addiction and privacy concerns. Striking a balance in educational technology use is crucial to harness its benefits while mitigating potential drawbacks, ensuring a productive and safe learning environment. Sustainable agriculture practices are vital to meeting the food demands of a growing global population while preserving natural resources. Techniques like organic farming, crop rotation, and precision agriculture are promoting soil health and reducing environmental impact. Ensuring food security requires investments in research, infrastructure, and policies that support sustainable practices, thereby safeguarding future generations from hunger and environmental degradation.
Powell cautioned that some improvements may be short-lived, citing global uncertainties from geopolitical tensions and supply chain issues. He reaffirmed the Fed's dedication to reducing inflation to their 2% target, emphasizing the importance of price stability for long-term economic growth and employment stability.
The ethical implications of artificial intelligence, AI, are a growing concern in technology. Issues such as bias in AI algorithms, privacy concerns, and the potential for AI to outperform humans in various tasks raise questions about the responsible development and use of this technology.
Rainforests cover only 6% of the Earth's surface. Yet they house more than half of the world's plant and animal species. These lush ecosystems are vital to our planet's biodiversity and play a critical role in regulating the Earth's climate by absorbing and storing vast amounts of carbon dioxide, making them a key player in the fight against climate change.
Should we go to the flea market night this weekend? Should we go to the flea market night this weekend?
To come to a rational decision, we need to go through all cases, including unforeseen ones. To come to a rational decision, we need to go through all cases, including unforeseen ones.
It is counterproductive to work as a night owl for 5 consecutive days. It is counterproductive to work as a night owl for 5 consecutive days.
A computer virus destroyed all my files. A computer virus destroyed all my files.
I just want to share that I have passed the PTE exam. I just want to share that I have passed the PTE exam.
A lot of agricultural workers came to the East End to look for alternative work. A lot of agricultural workers came to the East End to look for alternative work.
A periodical is a publication that is issued regularly. A periodical is a publication that is issued regularly.
The government should impose new laws on water usage restrictions. The government should impose new laws on water usage restrictions.
A preliminary bibliography is due the week before spring break. A preliminary bibliography is due the week before spring break.
A thorough bibliography is needed at the end of every assignment. A thorough bibliography is needed at the end of every assignment.
In this image, the chart shows the competency rating of employees. First of all, managerial efficiency is the least proficient aspect due to only 50% of the employees are deemed competent. On the contrary, the competency for directiveness is almost perfect at 95%. However, despite none of the aspects having a lower than 50% competency rate, the majority of them are below 65%. Therefore, this indicates that the employees need to be more competent in order to produce a better working environment.
This chart illustrates the percentage of browser usage on Wikimedia in October 2011. First and foremost, IE has the highest number of users, standing at 34.2%. Furthermore, Chrome and Firefox follow suit at 20.6% and 23.6% respectively. Last but not least, the remaining percentage belongs to a couple of other browsers, with Safari taking the lead at 11.6%. To conclude, IE was the most widely used browser at that time, while Android took the last position since it was fairly uncommon back in the day.
This chart tells the number of sales and clients acquired throughout the year. First and foremost, January has the lowest figure in both aspects. In contrast, December has the highest number of sales at over 20, while the most new clients come in November at almost 30. Nevertheless, the figures from January to August are not impressive, apart from a small rise in May, passing 10 and reaching 20. After that, they rapidly increase until they reach their peaks, indicating a more vibrant market at the end of the year.
This chart shows the trend of income poverty rate in different areas of a country. To get started, on the one hand, urban areas have the lowest rate of income poverty, always below 40%. On the other hand, it is notably high when it comes to rural locations, especially in 1992 when it rose over 60%. Additionally, the national figures are relatively high in 1992 and 2000, at nearly 60% and 50% respectively. However, the figures decrease over the year, marking a significant improvement in income for every area.
In sports, there's a lot of talk about a magical place called the zone. You've probably heard of it. That place where everything clicks, where no matter the weather or the crowd or the sweat in your eyes, nothing can break your focus, where you just do everything perfectly. You sink every shot. Nothing can stop you. Now, when I think about the zone, when I picture someone in the zone, I picture Steph Curry. Do you believe in the zone?
I do firmly believe in the zone. It is the one time that everything kind of goes into complete autopilot mode. Steph Curry himself stated that in one of his recent interviews.
Well, if the greatest NBA shooter of all time says the legend is real, that the zone is real, it's more than just a legend. How would you describe such a phenomenon?
There's just synergy with everything that you're trying to do, and even your intentions have been validated by the atmosphere around you, where it seems like everything else is going right at the same time. You kind of get lost in that moment.
In a conversation between two individuals, they delve into the concept of the zone in sports. This elusive state, where all distractions fade and perfection reigns, is a place where every shot lands and focus is unbreakable. The interviewee firmly believes in its existence, describing it as a phase where everything operates automatically and intentions align with the surroundings. It's when one becomes lost in the moment, a phenomenon that extends beyond mere legend.
Has anyone here been to Fresno? Okay, good. Because that's where I'm from, where I was born, and where I live today. For those of you who are less familiar, Fresno and the entire Central Valley of California is a place that's built by agriculture. Miles and miles of farmland for as far as the eye can see, with a couple of large, poor cities dotting the landscape. My family, akin to much of the local population, is a family of immigrant farm laborers. Those toiling away in the fields hoping for a 25 cents an hour raise. I didn't see myself destined for the glamour of Silicon Valley, but I did find my way to college, and something miraculous happened. I got a job in technology. And I remember the first time I didn't have to count the change when it came to trying to figure out how much to tip for pizza delivery. That was when I realized that this industry, the technology industry, was going to alter my life forever.
From Fresno in California's Central Valley, the speaker's immigrant family knew backbreaking toil in the fields, hoping for a 25 cents hourly raise. Silicon Valley's allure felt remote, yet higher education proved a game changer, leading to them securing a tech job. In addition to that, life-altering moment came when they no longer had to painstakingly count change for pizza tips. Thus, this emphasized the tech industry's profound impact. Fresno, a vast landscape of farmland with a myriad of pockets of poverty, frames their journey.
A business doesn't want to make a loss. What does it want to make?
A doctor who can sell prescribed medicines?
A document protecting people's works.
A famous canal links the Mediterranean Sea with the Indian Ocean. Is it the Corinth or Suez Canal?
A list of events placed in time order is usually described as what?
A manufacturing process releases poisonous gases. What is the most important safety measure for workers at this plant? Ensuring good ventilation or appropriate footwear.
Hello, welcome back. I'm sorry to stop you for a while because I just want to check on you a bit that how was it so far? We just completed our first part, writing and speaking question. It was around 1 hour and I am so happy that you are still here with us. Let us know in the comment section your thoughts about how challenging the questions are. Are they hard? Are they easy? Or just right? Let us know your thoughts so we can adjust this next time. One more point to add. I strongly recommend you to take a short break right now. You can go to the toilet, to have a drink, or do whatever you like and get back here to complete the test. Okay, so pause the video right now if you want to do so, and if you already done it, let's resume our test.
And with that, we're welcoming today's guest for our show on new chapters. Bruce Failer is the author of Life is in the Transitions, Mastering Change at Any Age. Bruce, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
My pleasure to be here. Thank you to both of you for inviting me.
So do people tend to make transitions too quickly or too slowly?
My answer to that question is that transitions take longer than you expect. Right? So for some people, it might feel quick, and for some people, I would say the default is, for most people, it feels longer than they expect. I mean, I got into this project, as you know, because I was going through this experience now that I call a lifequake. Right? This is one of these moments when life seems to be coming at you from all directions. These have aftershocks that last for years. And these can be times of renewal and growth.
One misconception is that medieval people were all ignorant and uneducated. For example, a 19th century biography of Christopher Columbus incorrectly purported that medieval Europeans thought the Earth was flat. Sure, many medieval scholars described the Earth as the center of the universe, but there wasn't much debate as to its shape. A popular 13th century text was literally called, On the Sphere of the World. Literacy rates gradually increased during the Middle Ages alongside the establishment of monasteries, convents, and universities. Ancient knowledge was also not lost. Greek and Roman texts continued to be studied. The idea that medieval people ate rotten meat and used spices to cover the taste was popularized in the 1930s by a British book. It misinterpreted one medieval recipe and used the existence of laws barring the sale of putrid meat as evidence it was regularly consumed. In fact, medieval Europeans avoided rancid foods and had methods for safely preserving meats, like curing them with salt. Spices were popular, but they were oftentimes pricier than the meat itself. So if someone could afford them, they could also buy unspoiled food.
Around 75.3 million years ago, Earth bore witness to a poignant episode featuring a 5.5-foot-tall juvenile Gorgosaurus, a precursor to the formidable Tyrannosaurus rex. Picture this young predator savoring the Cretaceous equivalent of a turkey drumstick in its final feast, ultimately yielding to a river's currents. Swift geological intervention preserved the dinosaur's carcass, creating a fossilized time capsule detailed in Science Advances under François Thérien's leadership from the Royal Tyrrell Museum. This groundbreaking discovery unveils the first tyrannosaur skeleton with impeccably preserved stomach contents, providing a unique glimpse into the nuances of the dinosaur's feeding behavior. Contrary to expectations, the juvenile Gorgosaurus made a distinctive culinary choice, opting for the hind limbs of two small, feathered dinosaurs instead of the anticipated large herbivores associated with its adult counterparts. This fossilized evidence challenges prevailing notions and reaffirms the tangible reality of dietary shifts in tyrannosaurs as they matured, a phenomenon predicted from existing fossil evidence. Beyond its paleontological significance, this revelation offers a fascinating window into the evolutionary challenges faced by these ancient apex predators, underscoring the imperative for growth and adaptation before undertaking bone-crushing feasts on megaherbivores. It enriches our understanding of tyrannosaur ecology and the intricate strategies they employed to navigate the dynamic landscapes of Earth's prehistoric realms, adding a vibrant layer to our planet's ancient narrative.
A new study published in the journal Science shows definitive evidence of organic matter on the surface of Mars. The data was collected by NASA's nuclear-powered rover Curiosity. It confirms earlier findings that the red planet once contained carbon-based compounds. These compounds, also called organic molecules, are essential ingredients for life as scientists understand it. The organic molecules were found in Mars's Gale crater, a large area that may have been a watery lake over 3 billion years ago. The rover encountered traces of the molecule in rocks extracted from the area. The rocks also contained sulfur, which scientists speculate helped preserve the organics even when the rocks were exposed to the harsh radiation on the surface of the planet. Scientists are quick to state that the presence of these organic molecules is not sufficient evidence for ancient life on Mars, as the molecules could have been formed by non-living processes. But it's still one of the most astonishing discoveries, which could lead to future revelations. Especially when one considers the other startling find that Curiosity uncovered around 5 years ago. The rover analyzes the air around it periodically, and in 2014 it found the air contained another of the most basic organic molecules and a key ingredient of natural gas, methane. One of the characteristics of methane is that it only survives a few hundred years. This means that something, somewhere on Mars, is replenishing the supply. According to NASA, Mars emits thousands of tons of methane at a time. The level of methane rises and falls at seasonal intervals in the year, almost as if the planet is breathing it.
Yesterday was my first time visiting the technical university and I learned so much about the school. A student introduced me to the campus, so I was able to see the different buildings. The school has a large library and the students have access to a practice and sports hall. We also attended a student union meeting where I got to learn about some upcoming campus events. Last but not least, I visited the campus cafeteria, which had a lot of different food options. I had a great time and really hope that I can go there for college.
The old lady settled herself comfortably, removing her white cotton gloves and putting them up with her purse on the shelf in front of the back window. The children's mother still had on slacks and still had her head tied up in a green kerchief, but the grandmother had on a navy blue straw sailor hat with a bunch of white violets on the brim and a pastel pink dress with a small white dot in the print. Her collars and cuffs were white organdy trimmed with lace, and at her neckline she had pinned a purple spray of cloth violets containing a sachet. In case of an accident, anyone seeing her dead on the highway would know at once that she was a lady.
There have been three themes running through the conference, which are relevant to what I want to talk about. One is the extraordinary evidence of human creativity in all of the presentations that we've had and in all of the people here, just the variety of it and the range of it. The second is that it's put us in a place where we have no idea what's going to happen in terms of the future. No idea how this may play out. I have an interest in education. Actually, what I find is, everybody has an interest in education. Don't you? I find this very interesting. If you're at a dinner party, and you say you work in education, actually, you're not often at dinner parties, frankly.
Researchers at Chalmers Division of Applied Acoustics have conducted a laboratory study in which test subjects took concentration tests while being exposed to background traffic noise. The subjects were asked to look at a computer screen and react to certain letters, then to assess their perceived workload afterward. The study shows that the subjects had significantly poorer results on the performance test, and also felt that the task was more difficult to carry out, with traffic noise in the background. What is unique about our study is that we were able to demonstrate a decline in performance at noise levels as low as 40 dB, which corresponds to the regular noise level in an office environment or a kitchen, says Leon Muller, doctoral student at the Division of Applied Acoustics in the Department of Architecture and Civil Engineering. The background noise consisted of two audio sequences simulating trucks passing by at a distance of 10 and 50 meters. Both sequences were normalized to the same total indoor level of 40 dB. The audio sequence simulating the closer passages, where the sound changes significantly as the vehicle passes by, was usually the one that bothered the test subjects the most, Muller says. This could be because traffic that is further away is perceived as a more constant drone.
When Robert Whittaker, the former middleweight champion, made the walk to the octagon on July 8 at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas to face Dricus du Plessis in the co-main event of UFC 290, a legitimate argument could have been made that Whittaker belonged in the MMA pound-for-pound top 10. He was that good. He'd lost to Israel Adesanya at UFC 243 and UFC 271, but other than those two, Whittaker had reeled off 13 wins since a 2014 win over Mike Rhodes. In that span, he'd beaten Yoel Romero twice, as well as Jacare Souza, Jared Cannonier, Kelvin Gastelum, and Marvin Vettori, among others. He was, in short, the real deal. And then the bell rang and everything changed. Du Plessis dominated Whittaker, much to the delight of Adesanya, who was seated ringside. He knew he needed fresh blood as an opponent, and given he'd beaten Whittaker twice, a win by Whittaker over Du Plessis did him little good.
On Sunday evening, Johnson himself weighed in, reposting an Instagram video in which the comedian James Andre Jefferson Jr. jokes that the figure looks like he works at H&R Block. Johnson added that he would have his representatives work with the museum on some important details and improvements, starting with my skin color. The Grevine responded to the criticism on Monday afternoon, posting in an Instagram story that it had listened to feedback and that its artists were already working on improving the statue. The museum says it is home to more than 250 celebrity wax figures, including those of Angelina Jolie, President Joe Biden, and Serge Gainsbourg. All of a sudden, after a single summer, the pink jersey is everywhere. It has become almost impossible to acquire, yet there it is, paradoxically, on the backs of thousands of fans thronging American stadiums, hanging from market stalls in Buenos Aires and Bangkok, a vivid flash on almost every field where children gather to play soccer in England. The jersey has become, apparently overnight, the hottest piece of sports merchandise on the planet as a simple, capitalist equation. The result of an irresistible combination of one of the most recognizable and beloved athletes of his generation, a distinctive, exotic color, and the ruthless efficiency of textile factories in Southeast Asia.
I've worked from all over the world, from Hong Kong to Australia to New Zealand to Brazil to the UK and Ireland to Fiji and Dubai since far before the pandemic days. Since before the smartphone days, too, I used to call into the office at 3 a.m. from Hong Kong payphones. I've spent years balancing my full-time work at an advertising agency with my travels as a US Rugby national team member. I understand how challenging it can be to juggle the desire to see the world with the realities of accomplishing.
But the thing is, there was no money in it. The gang had no way to make money. You couldn't charge dues to the people in the gang because the people in the gang didn't have any money. You couldn't really make any money selling marijuana. Marijuana is too cheap. It turns out, you can't get rich selling marijuana. You couldn't sell cocaine. Cocaine's a great product, powdered cocaine, but you've got to know rich white people. And most of the inner city gang members didn't know any rich white people, so couldn't sell to that market. You couldn't really do petty crime, either. Turns out, petty crime's a terrible way to make.
Can ChatGPT help executives make better decisions? The large language model everyone has been talking about for months also has an eloquent answer to this question. Yes, I can support you in management decisions by providing information, facts, analysis, and perspectives that can help you make an informed decision. ChatGPT immediately follows up with a limitation of its own competence. However, it is important to note that my advice and recommendations are based on an algorithmic analysis of data and information, and you, as a human being, still have to make the final decision based on your experience, knowledge, and assessment of the situation.
If you look at the places where affirmative action has been prohibited, at states where it's been prohibited, Michigan, California, you'll see a sharp decline in the numbers of African American students present in the public university system. So I worry a great deal about the future of higher education. I think it's telling that the Supreme Court, listening to the pleas from the Solicitor General of the United States, did not overturn affirmative action in the military academies, West Point, Annapolis, and so forth. The Solicitor General argued that affirmative action was essential to establishing a diverse officer corps and that a diverse officer corps is essential to the safety of the nation, as we learned when it was not diverse in Vietnam.
The index stayed in the green mostly throughout the day, but selling pressure
We have never spoken about work lately.
Foreign investors were net sellers for the sixth straight session to the tune of $1 billion.
You should not collect possessions you don't value.
Thank you so much for still being here with us. Our mock test lasts for 2 hours, and I know for certain that it is not easy to pay your attention to do something for 2 hours long. Therefore, I truly appreciate your interest and perseverance on doing this test. And I know if you have that mindset, you try hard enough, achieving your desired score is not a challenge anymore. Again, we are about to launch the PTE practice platform, and you can use your computer to practice thousands of practice questions, in addition to instantly detailed feedback, especially for writing and speaking questions. And let's subscribe to our channel to get latest information about upcoming 2-hour mock tests, besides practice questions, and of course for our PTE practice platform. I'll see you in next videos. Click subscribe if you like the video, or if you dislike, just click it, because it's how you see our upcoming videos. See you.